Karen, I sent you a package to arrive at your house today, so I was wondering if it's arrived yet.
Yeah, I actually just received it. Mom, thanks for everything. I appreciate your support, and you've really helped me a lot.
Well, I'm glad this became so helpful to you. I included some sweet confectionaries for Eugene's parents, but do you think those gifts were okay for his parents? I hope it wasn't something that they didn't like.
I gave it to them as soon as it arrived, and they were really happy to receive it.
Oh, well, I'm glad they liked it.
But Mom, how much did you actually spend arranging and sending all of these this time? Because there were so many things included inside the package that you sent. I didn't actually say that I wanted a new vacuum cleaner, did I?
No, you didn't actually say that you wanted one, but you did say that the vacuum cleaner you were using at your house had broken, and that you were cleaning up the floors with a rag now. So I just thought that you would probably need a new one and went ahead and bought it for you.
Well, I was going to buy one myself anyway, but that was really helpful though. And remember, next time when you try and go buy things, can you please discuss with me first before doing so, okay? I appreciate your kindness, but honestly, I don't want to rely on you for everything,
Well, I don't mind at all if you do rely on me, because I still regret that I couldn't be honest and congratulate you when you got married, so I guess this is the least I can do for you now.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that anymore. I understand that you were just concerned because you cared so much about me. And eventually you did agree to our marriage, so I really appreciate that.
Well, yeah. At first I was so worried that this was definitely not going to work out and you would go through some tough times through your marriage. But I realized that Eugene and you were the ones who were actually getting married anyway. As long as you two were determined to get married, I should have just supported you two in the first place. So I guess I was totally wrong to oppose this marriage. But is everything all right with you and Eugene's family now? Karen, I'm still worried because you were just a girl raised in the city who couldn't even touch insects. Are you actually being useful as a farmer's daughter-in-law helping out Eugene's family? And are you really getting along with his family without any problems?
Yeah, don't worry about getting along with them. And actually, I've gotten pretty used to insects now too. But still, I'm not good at doing the household chores for the family at all, so I'm probably still causing trouble to Eugene's mother though.
Of course, nobody can do those things at first, so you don't have to worry at all. Even I actually started doing chores after you were born. At first, I made so many mistakes doing them, so I do understand what you're going through now. I even remember when I made you rice porridge for your baby food. I actually made 100 days servings of it by mistake.
Really? Even you make mistakes? That's surprising.
Oh? What are you saying? I was completely useless, constantly making messes at that time?
But Mom, you know you're pretty famous socially now, right? While taking care of me as a single parent, you worked so hard becoming successful with your career, and even established the company by yourself. Everyone just knows you as a successful working mom now.
Well, although it may appear like that to others, honestly, my life is not all about success, I definitely have experienced so many tough times and mistakes which eventually helped me grow and become stronger along the way. But I guess everything turned out to be okay, as I was always happy and continued to have a positive mind, though.
Mom, I just really respect you for what you have done, and I hope I can be like you someday.
Well, I assume that will be up to how hard you work and how determined you are. Even if you are a household wife now, you never know what will happen in the future. But honestly, it was surprising to me, though. Because I know you were just the workaholic type like me before, but you actually decided to completely quit your job when you got married.
But I had to do so because Eugene's father had fell ill, and under that circumstance, Eugene now had the responsibility to take over the farm business on behalf of his father. And since I was actually the one who decided to be with Eugene and support him,
I really respect your decision for that, because if I were you, I would have postponed the marriage, saying that wasn't the condition of this marriage I agreed to in the first place.
I do actually respect your attitude of expressing your own opinions.
Oh, and how is Eugene's father doing these days? Is he doing okay?
Yeah, he's doing fine now. He actually even goes out to work at the farm sometimes.
Oh, really? Well, that's great to know that he's all right now. But if his father is able to come out to the farm, don't you think that Eugene didn't actually have to take over the business in the first place?
Mom, don't say those unnecessary things, okay? Because Eugene is now responsible for taking the lead of the family business and is working hard every day to run the farm. And remember, I'm the one who decided to support him and help out the family business together. So don't bring up that matter, Mom.
Well, that is true. I guess that was thoughtless of me to say that. I'm so sorry. But it's just that I feel so lonely because you have to live so far away from me in the countryside after you got married. You know I'm living alone now, so I just can't help myself from saying such things because I miss you.
Well, I do understand that you say those things because you always care about me, so I appreciate your kind feelings.
Oh, please, can you just stop that, Karen? It feels so awkward that you're being so honest and thankful to me.
Well, I guess it's proof that I'm growing up too, you know?
That's for sure.
Well, I guess it's now time for me to go back to work for the afternoon.
Oh, really? It's already that time of day? Oh, I must hurry and eat my lunch to start working again, too. Well then, I guess I'll get in touch with you again soon.
Hello, Kelly. It's Megan, Eugene's mother. It's been a long time, but how have you been doing lately?
Hi, Megan. Good afternoon. Thank you for always helping out my daughter, Megan. I know there may be many things she still needs help with, both your farm and the house, but I really appreciate your support and welcoming her in as a family.
No problem at all, because we're the ones who are actually being helped by her so much. Oh, by the way, the sweet chocolates you sent us the other day were really delicious. I was also saying this to my husband, but honestly, we've never had such high-end chocolates like this before. So those chocolates were such special treats for us. Thank you so much for always caring and sending us gifts.
Well, let me say the same thing to you as well, because I appreciate you always sending me the fresh vegetables from your farm. I'm so sorry that everything I send from my end are always ready-made things that I bought.
If you don't mind receiving those kind of vegetables, then I can send them to you anytime, so please, let me know when you need anything. And since those were vegetables that we couldn't actually sell in the market, I'm sorry that they are out of shape and don't look so perfect.
Oh, not at all. Don't worry about that. Because I always enjoy receiving the vegetables you send to me every time. And with the thought that my daughter is actually helping growing them at the farm, everything seems so delicious to me. I'm always looking forward to cooking dishes with those vegetables.
Well, Karen is such a hard worker, you know. I think she's actually working even harder than my son. I honestly don't know how we can continue to run the farm without her help now. So I really appreciate how much she has supported us.
Well, I'm really relieved to hear that she's actually being useful at the farm. You know, since my daughter was raised in the city, I was just worried if she would be able to handle things working at the farm.
Oh, she actually had no problem with that, because Karen got used to working at the farm really quickly.
Oh, really? Well, that's a relief. But isn't she causing any trouble when it comes to doing the household chores? As I'm also not good at doing chores either, I do regret that I really didn't have a chance to get to teach her how to do things, so I'm worried about how she's handling those besides the farm work.
Oh, that's no problem at all, because now she actually cooks better than me. She really helps us out too much that we feel sorry about that.
Oh, that's no problem at all. I assume that's because you went through all the effort to teach her to do things, so I really appreciate what you're doing for her.
By the way, I wanted to ask you something. Karen is actually the reason why I contacted you this time.
Oh, is that so? About Karen? What exactly would that be?
Actually, I was thinking of giving Karen a special present since she's been working so hard for us, as she married my son and agreed to live with us, and even helps us out with our family business. I know that was a lot to ask from her when she joined our family, but she's been so supportive to us all the way. I've always wanted to thank her and show her our appreciation in some way.
Oh, really? You've been thinking that way about Karen? Oh, that's so thoughtful and kind of you. Well, thank you so much, Megan. But I assume my daughter will be happy with just your thoughtfulness and word of appreciation.
No, we really want to express our appreciation to her in some way, and we're actually thinking of taking her on a family trip. Since our family business is currently not so busy right now, I think it may be a good opportunity for all of us. I suppose we might be able to go on a 1-night, 2-day trip to somewhere.
Really? You're planning a family trip? Oh, my daughter will definitely enjoy that. Since my daughter loves to travel, I remember that she used to go around and visit different hot springs when she was still single.
Oh, really? Is that so? Well then, maybe we should go on a trip where there's hot springs she can enjoy and relax like she used to. But as I'm trying to look for a hotel, I'm actually afraid that Karen might not be able to enjoy places we actually book, would she? Because I'm concerned that she's your daughter from such a fine family, not like us, you know. And I assume she's been only staying at luxurious high-class hotels in the past, right? I'm worried that she may not be fully satisfied with any hotels we actually plan for this trip. That's why I wanted to discuss this with you before we started planning.
Oh, no, actually, I don't think so. Because after Karen started working, I haven't been supporting her financially, so... As she was going on trips using her own money, I assume she went to different places within her budget, so I'm sure you won't have to worry about that.
Oh, is that so? But even so, you know that Karen was working at a big and famous company, though. So I assume she was paid much too and would be able to enjoy traveling to different places. Come to think of it, it's such a miracle that a girl like Karen came to our house, which is so old that it may collapse any time. So considering that, I definitely can't let her stay at such a low-class hotel. Hey, Kelly, I'm so sorry. I must take that back because I guess this was just not possible to plan for us in the first place. So can you just ignore what I just said now?
Oh no, Megan! Oh, can you just wait? If you don't mind, I should go ahead and ask one of our hotels we have a relationship with and make arrangements for your family.
Oh, really? Is that actually possible? Would you be so kind to do so for us?
Yes, of course, since they were actually asking me to come visit sometime, but unfortunately I couldn't adjust my schedule because I'm busy with work. So I would appreciate if your family could go to that hotel on behalf of me.
Kelly, though I appreciate your offer, honestly, I don't think we can actually afford paying the accommodation fee rates that you pay them.
Oh, that's no problem. Don't worry, since you won't have to pay for that, because they told me that we could stay there for free anyway. It seems that they're inviting me to the hotel to show appreciation since I had some business relationship with them before.
Oh, really? Is that so? But I feel awful taking that opportunity on behalf of you.
Oh, don't worry at all. I'll talk to them directly about the situation and have them make the arrangements for your family.
Oh, Kelly, thank you so much. I appreciate your consideration. And I feel so bad asking you this favor since I know you've already done so much for us.
Oh no, please don't mind at all. You've welcomed my daughter into your family and lives together, taking care of her every day. I appreciate if you can continue to support her, so this is the least I can do for you and your family.
Of course. I want you to know that that's the same for us too. I know this is not something to say to Karen's actual mother, but even though we are not actually related, I really do think of Karen as my true daughter. So I hope you can continue to rely on us to take good care of her and live together as one of our precious family members.
Hey Karen, I just wanted to check and see if everything is okay. How is it over there? Are you enjoying everything?
What? Mom, what do you mean by enjoying?
I know Eugene's parents took you on a family trip as a present for you. Actually, they asked me about the family trip in advance, and we were discussing about it together, since they really insisted on showing their appreciation to you for all the hard work you've done. So are you enjoying the hot springs? Isn't it great to go on a family trip with Eugene's family? I hope you can relax yourself during this trip because you've been working so hard since you got married.
If you're referring to that family's trip, unfortunately, Eugene's family actually left without me.
Huh? You're saying that they just went on the trip without you? What? No, that can't be true. I'm so confused because this family trip was originally planned to show appreciation to you. But they didn't take you with them? You're staying at home all alone? What's going on?
Yeah, that's right. Because they said daughter-in-laws are strangers and not a member of the family. I'm so sorry, Mom. I've been hesitating to say this to you, but to be honest, actually, nothing in my marriage is going well at all.
What? I can't believe this. Why didn't you say this to me earlier? Anyway, I got it. Now that I know what's going on, I'm definitely going to put a stop to this. I'm going to make them regret what they did and make all of them sleep outside tonight.
What? Make them sleep outside? Even in this situation, I doubt that's something you can do, Mom.
What are you saying? Of course I can do that. Because I'm the one who introduced them to that hotel and made the arrangements, you know.
Oh, really? Now everything makes sense. So that's why they were trying to stay at a high-class hotel that can't be booked so easily. I didn't know about any of this. I'm so sorry this all happened because of me.
No, you don't need to be sorry at all because you haven't done anything wrong. You know it's absolutely Eugene's family at fault.
But if I didn't marry Eugene in the first place, this wouldn't have happened. And I wouldn't have caused you so much trouble. I'm so sorry, Mom. I should have listened to your opinions and reconsidered our marriage when you asked me. I'm so stupid to notice now.
Nobody gets married to become unhappy, you know. So I know that you couldn't help that anyway. But even so, you were actually able to work and help out at the farm, right? I was actually more worried about that the most in your marriage.
Yeah, I understand. Honestly, although there were so many tough times working at the farm, it seems that I really did enjoy farming. But maybe that was because while I was working at the farm, I was able to forget about all the bad things happening at home. Since I never experienced growing vegetables, I guess that was actually really helpful. And that's one thing I couldn't have experienced if I didn't get married and work at this farm. But actually, living with that family at home was always really tough for me. And since Eugene would just do what his parents tell him to do, he wouldn't do anything to support me. So I did constantly feel as if we were alone living with his family.
Oh, is that so? Well, I guess you couldn't even rely on Eugene either in that situation.
I was working all day from morning to night for the family, and didn't have much time to sleep either. Honestly, I was always thinking, what am I actually doing here? But I convinced myself thinking this was a decision I made on my own, so I just needed to work harder. But even so, lately all I could think of was going through a divorce with Eugene. In addition, his parents always saying insulting things to me and just calls me a useless daughter-in-law. And I couldn't even eat anything these past few days.
What? His family didn't give you any food either? And called you a useless daughter-in-law in addition? I can't believe they could treat you so terribly, because that is totally the opposite of what they told me about you.
Oh, but it seems that they use pretty nasty words like that all the time. So Eugene said that his parents don't really mean it, and that I shouldn't take everything so seriously.
Even if they were just making jokes, you know that is not totally acceptable, because they're not treating you as a family member and are so disrespectful to you. So, Karen, you need to just get out of that house and come home immediately. I can't let you stay with that family any longer. And you definitely need to take a break and get some rest for a while since you've been working so hard.
But you know that I can't just leave the farm like this while they're out on the trip.
Well, I don't care about what happens to the family or the farm. It's all his family's fault that they left you there alone. So I'm saying just come back home immediately. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pick you up there myself.
Hi, Kelly. This is Megan. I have to ask you something. Regarding the arrangements of the trip, it seems that something must be wrong. As we just arrived at the hotel, we were told that we have no reservations under our names. So, can you call the hotel and explain the situation to them, Kelly?
Well, Megan, I suppose nothing is going wrong because I actually canceled the reservation.
Huh? You canceled it? And why would you do that?
So you actually don't have any idea about this? Do I have to explain everything to you? Don't try to play dumb with me. Can you just remember what your family has done to my daughter?
What are you trying to say? Because we haven't done anything to her.
Yeah, right. Then can you explain why my daughter is not with you on this trip now? And I heard that you actually said that my daughter is a stranger to you. Is that why you left her home alone without taking her on the family trip?
No, that's not true, Kelly. You've got to believe me. I need you to listen since I have an excuse for this. As I said to her that I wanted to take her on a family trip as a present for working so hard, she insisted on saying, why don't you go on a trip with just our family, and wasn't willing to go with us in the first place.
I don't think my daughter said anything like that.
No, it's really true. Since I actually don't have proof, I don't know how you can trust me on this, but maybe Karen made that lie deliberately because she was waiting for a chance to get out of our house and escape from living a life with our family.
And why do you think my daughter would have to make such a lie?
Well, because you know Karen lived all her life in the city, right? I guess she probably just had enough and didn't want to do all the tough work at the farm anymore. But since she knew that wouldn't be a good enough reason to end this marriage and go through a divorce with Eugene, she probably said to you that we were the ones who were wrong, didn't she?
No, Karen is not such a girl who lies like that. She even said that she was enjoying working at the farm. And in addition, I found out that Karen actually had several bruises on her arms and legs. She said that you would hit her arms and legs with the broom when you didn't like what she was doing. How could you do such a terrible thing and hurt my daughter?
Of course I wouldn't do anything like that to her. You've got to believe me, Kelly. This is all a misunderstanding. Karen probably did all of that on her own and hurt herself, so I have nothing to do with that.
But unfortunately, I have other proof from your neighbors, too.
Huh? From our neighbors? What did they say about us?
I only investigated around the neighborhood for just a few hours, but I was surprised to know that there were so many witnesses about your family matters. And it seems that your family was famous around here for causing much trouble to your neighbors, right? So that's why there was nobody who actually wanted to marry Eugene here, and you went all the way to make Eugene work in the city, hoping he can find his future wife there and eventually come back out to help with your farm, right?
Of course I wouldn't do such a thing. I just let Eugene live in the city because he was the one who was willing to do so. And I didn't even expect him to take over our family business anyway.
Well, I guess you don't have to admit everything now, because I will go through court trial for all of this anyway.
What? A court trial?
Of course we will take this issue to court. You hurt my only daughter and treated her with violence, you know. And I also heard that your son's medical fees were paid with my daughter's savings.
Well, regarding that, unfortunately, we just didn't have enough money to pay for those expenses at the time.
Oh, so now you're actually asking a stranger to support your family? That is just selfish and cruel, treating my daughter like that, and I am really furious about it. And I'm actually thinking of contacting companies that have relationships with your family business now. I understand that your family business is already going through a tough time financially, but I guess the situation will become even worse from now on once I explain everything to them.
No, please wait, Kelly. I beg you, please avoid doing that to us. We absolutely can't let that happen to our farm.
Then you need to start admitting what you've done to my daughter. You actually hit her with a broom and made bruises on my daughter, didn't you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just did it to show her discipline. And you have to know that it was not because she was our daughter-in-law, but because I always thought of her as if she was my true daughter.
Oh yeah, right. Well, even if you think of her as your true daughter, you just left her alone at home during the family trip. Is that how you actually treat a family member?
Well, basically, someone needs to stay home and manage running the farm. Honestly, I don't think someone like you would understand our situation, but at times like this when family members have to leave the farm, it was always the daughter-in-law who had to take over the job here. So that's why we had Karen stay at home. It's as simple as that.
Well, then you know you shouldn't have told me that you wanted to give this family trip as a present to my daughter. So what was all that about? Because I actually booked this hotel for my daughter because I knew she worked really hard to deserve this. And this trip definitely wasn't for your family who just tried to use my daughter like a slave.
I'm so sorry, Kelly. I promise that I will never do such a horrible thing to her again. And I will never try to hit Karen again either.
Of course you need to promise me that. And just to let you know, my daughter will be staying home with me for a while.
What? You mean that Karen is not staying at our home now?
Yes, of course I can't just let her go back into this situation, since I do want her to have enough time to consider about what she should do from now on. And I don't know what she'll have to go through going back and staying at your house again.
So are you saying that Karen is actually going to go through a divorce with Eugene?
Well, I don't know, but that's totally up to them to decide. But either way, I will never support your family again. So don't expect anything from me from now on. And please, just go back home for today. Because you won't be able to stay at the hotel in this situation either.
But Kelly, we're in the middle of the mountains, you know. And we were able to come up to this hotel because we did have a ride up to here. So how are we supposed to go back home from here?
Well, I guess you'll have no choice but to walk back home in that situation.
What? You know that's just not possible. It's so far in the middle of the mountains that you can probably imagine.
Well, remember, this is absolutely your fault because you treated my daughter terribly. So you definitely deserve this.
Can you at least arrange a ride for us to go back home? We don't know how much it will cost us to take a taxi back home either. But Kelly, please understand. It's just impossible for us to walk all the way back home.
Excuse me, but why do I have to go all the way to do that for your family? Because basically, I don't care what happens to your family anymore. Since you said that my daughter is a stranger, I guess you're just a complete stranger to me too, right? After that, Eugene's family tried to ask the hotel to do something about this situation and help them out, but since I had already asked the hotel to refuse to everything they say, they eventually had no choice but to walk all the way back home. By the time they came down from the mountain, it was already too dark and late at night, so they couldn't go home, and they actually had to spend the night at an internet cafe and head home the next day. And after that, Eugene seemed to have contacted my daughter every day, saying he wanted her to come back home and continue this marriage, but even in this situation, as he still was considering to live with his parents, my daughter was able to make her final decision to divorce him after realizing that Eugene's attitude would never change, even after going through all of this. And when going through the divorce, we had Megan and her family apologize about what they had done to Karen and received consolation money from them. And after that, it seems that Eugene just lost hope in helping out at the farm because of going through the divorce with my daughter. And he just spends every day staying inside at home all day, playing games, now being completely useless, leaving all the work at the farm up to Megan and her husband. Under that situation, it was just impossible for Eugene's parents to manage running the farm by themselves, so they're now trying to hire someone to help out at their farm in place of Eugene, but because of the bad reputation of their family known around the neighborhood, they're having trouble finding someone to hire. So I guess Eugene's family will still have to continue to go through a tough time with just the two of them for a while. So even if I didn't do anything, I guess Megan's family's business would have eventually ended sooner or later through my daughter's divorce anyway. And though my daughter was also really depressed right after going through the divorce, as she had some time to clear her thoughts, she now actually seems to feel angry towards Eugene, realizing why he didn't do anything to support her at all. And she's glad to have made the right decision going through a divorce with him and completely cutting the relationship off with his family from the bottom of her heart. And to start over her new life, she even got a new job now and is enjoying being able to work hard, building her career like she used to do when she was single. And also through the experience of working at the farm after she got married, it seems she's become so interested in farming that now she even owns a farm and goes out there to enjoy farming over the weekend. Though I do worry that she may get all filthy, covered with dirt, and enjoy farming too much, I'm glad she was able to find something she really enjoyed after what she's gone through. So long as my daughter is happy and satisfied with her life, then that's all I ask for as her mother. Thank you for watching Peep Talk videos. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to leave us any comments. Please visit us again to check out the next video.